Alright, today y'all, we're gonna be making some peach cobbler. In this thing, y'all, I added 1 cup of brown sugar and 1 cup of regular sugar. You also see me adding cinnamon and nutmeg. I don't necessarily measure, I kind of just do it to taste. I don't know where this thing went, but I did add 1 stick of butter and I also added 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Let your peaches come to a nice boil. This pan I have melted butter, brown sugar, and I also add a regular sugar and I add that to my crust as you see here. Here, to thicken up my peaches, I add a slurry. I did 4 tablespoons of cornstarch with 4 tablespoons of water, and I add it to the peaches to get it nice and thick as you see. So after I allow my peaches to get thick, I then add them to the crust that I allow to sit in the oven for 10 minutes to get halfway done. And then I do my top crust. Now my top crust y'all look kind of crazy, but I do add butter and cinnamon to it. After adding your butter and the cinnamon, put it in the oven for an hour. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are really liking the vibes here. So today, as a peach cobbler cook, I thought why not tell a story time. So grab your wine, grab your snacks, grab your peach cobbler, and we'll be right back. All right, y'all, so today's story time is just basically going to be about how I went to jail. All right, y'all, so this story time takes place back in 2014. And I was with my best friend at the time, who we're going to call best friend. Me and her was hanging out a lot this summer. We had just graduated back in 2013, and at this point, we really did not know what to do or what we really wanted to do. So we were just hanging out, kind of what they call the year off before you decide exactly what you wanted to do. Now, me and best friend used to hang out because she used to live in the same townhome complexes as me. But she ended up moving back to the east side of St. Paul, so of course, like naturally, she ended up finding some new friends. This is when best friend introduced me to some of her new friends. And this friend we're gonna call Ornament. Now, Ornament, at this time, had got into it with her mom, and like naturally, you get to your mom, you get put out the house. So her mom put her out the house, and so she ended up staying at a cousin's house. So basically, the weekend is about to wrap up, and me and best friend decided that we were going to go back to her mom's house, but a group of people had came over and they all decided they were going to go to the football game. This was still around homecoming, so a lot of high schools in the area and colleges were doing their homecoming games. Me, I didn't want to go back to her house just because I wanted to hang out with everybody for a little bit longer. I love mama, that's my second mom. But I didn't really want to go back just yet. So I tried to convince best friend to let's go. But y'all, my best friend's cheap and she didn't want to pay that entry fee to the football game. But I ended up convincing her to let's go to the football game, right? So now as a collective, it's me, best friend, Ornament, the main reason we all went to jail, we're gonna call her main chick, and then main chick's cousin, sister girl, right? So we all hop on a bus and decided we were gonna go to the high school football game. I believe it was Como off of University. If y'all from Minnesota, y'all know what I'm talking about. But I can't remember exactly which football game it was. I just know it was in that area. So we all on a bus with a light rail. We're all on a light rail, and we just noticed that main chick is on her phone typing like real fast. So we ask main chick like, "Hey, what's going on? What's up?" And she's like, and some other chick picked up the phone. Well, she called him, not texting him, child. She called him, and some chick picked up the phone. So we were all basically instigating like, "What? What do you mean some chick picked up the phone?" Right? So she basically tell us like, "Yeah, like when I called him, I guess he was in the restroom and some other chick picked up the phone." So now, of course, like being young as we is, we like, oh, who is she? Basically trying to figure out what was going on. So now we're all interested in this dilemma of the side chick picking up the phone, right? So we all hop off the bus and we walk. We're now walking towards the school, and basically she's going off. She's going off with her boyfriend because he's now back on the phone. So she's texting him and calling him. We get to the gate of the high school. And now we're all basically trying to figure out, so what you gonna do? Like what's finna happen? And she's like, at this point, I want to pull up. And so we all just looking at each other like, all right. So we pulling up, right? Don't do that, child. So now the group of people that was with us, I think there were 3 extra people that was with us, they go inside the game. They basically decide they ain't with it. They ain't finna go, they ain't with this, right? And so we all collectively, me, best friend, Ornament, sister girl, decide, okay, we finna pull up with her. So now we're walking to get on another bus. We got on the 64 going towards Maplewood Mall. So now we're on a bus and we're all hyping her up like, yeah, she don't know who she messing with. Yeah, it's finna go down. Just being very ratchet, right? So we get to Maplewood Mall. Now at this moment, not best friends. At this moment, main chick boyfriend had a roommate. And main chick ended up calling up the roommate while we was on a bus, and she was trying to figure out if he was at home or not so she can let her in the house. But he wasn't. And I think that he knew that his roommate had another girl over because he was very suspicious on why main chick was calling him, trying to get her to let him in the house. And he was basically like, no, I'm not there. You're going to have to figure it out. So we get to the bus station, which was at Maplewood Mall, and we decide we want a pit stop. And we stop at McDonald's. I mean, you got to build up your energy before you go fight, right? So we all get off the bus, we go into McDonald's, and now we all in here eating. Once again, we hyping her up, letting her know, like, yeah, he don't know who he messing with. Yeah, why is he cheating on you? And on top of that, she showed us what the chick looked like. So, of course, we was like, yeah, oh, she looked like this, basically just talking shit, right? So now we all get back on the bus because we got to continue our journey, you know, to go and pop up on homegirl. So we hop back on the bus, y'all, and we finally get to the apartments. Now, let me tell y'all, the apartments, because this is one of the main reasons why I had got in trouble. The apartments was on a college ground. They were college apartments for kids who went to the college. And since none of us at the moment was enrolled at the college, I did enroll later, but since none of us were enrolled at this college at the time, technically we were not supposed to be there. So at this moment, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do because, of course, she can't call the call box and let him know she's there. So how, you know, that's not an official pop-up. You can't pop up on somebody and then be like, hey, can you let me in your apartment while you got another chick there? It ain't going to happen. So I see 2 people entering the apartment. So I decide, I'm like, okay, I'm young. I look like a college kid at the time. I'm like, I'm finna go into see if they'll let me into this apartment, which they ended up doing. So now I'm holding open the door and I let Ornament in, I let main chick in, I let best friend in, and I let sister girl in, right? So we then went and took the side hallway upstairs to the apartment because at this moment, main chick's boyfriend lived on the 2nd floor and he actually lived diagonally towards the exit. So basically we were all in a hallway and main chick was knocking on the door where you can take the stairs. So this is the part where it gets juicy, all right? So now we're in the stairway and how it's angled is, I believe main chick is at the door, at the front door of the apartment. Who's holding open the hallway door, I believe it was Ornament, and then there was best friend, it was sister girl, then it was me. I was completely at the bottom because once again, I'm a dude, so I wasn't really there to fight her. So what I'm gonna do, right? So I'm at the complete bottom, and main chick knocks on the door. Nobody say nothing. Again, main chick knocks on the door. So then her boyfriend creaks open the door and he's looking at her because y'all know I think it had the latch on the door. And he's like, what you want? Why are you here? And then the side chick comes out the door and now they arguing, right? They going back and forth. And now we all just in a hallway, like everybody on ready, everybody just looking around like what's gonna happen. We all and out of nowhere, side chick says, and that's why I'm effing your man.
And whoop, time to go.
it was a wrap. Main chick, y'all, kicked in that door like she was some sumo wrestler. I've never seen it before. She kicked in the door, and at that moment, it was a girl fight. Q Brooke Valentine. It was a wrap. And I felt really bad for the lady at the moment, but you can't say something like that and don't think that you're gonna get the paws put on you. Like, that's just that you got the paws put on you for that statement alone, right? So now they tussling, they fighting, they on the floor, they kicking, they screaming, they wigs flying everywhere. It's titties flying everywhere. It's a lot going on, right? And I'm sitting there, y'all, like a coat rack, because I got everybody coats and purses, because I'm a dude. I can't do nothing. So I'm just sitting there with everybody coats and purses, just looking like. And I kind of felt bad, again, like I said, but what you gonna do, right? And I could have stopped it. And I know y'all telling me I could have stopped it. I really could have, but I mean, side note, y'all gonna have to forgive me for consistently repeating myself sometimes. I kind of do that when I tend to be camera shy. So yeah, charge it against my mind, not my heart. She was messing with her man. They was already arguing way before. So what was I supposed to do, right? Now, in this moment, a lot of things is going in my head. One, we in a white neighborhood. And you know white people don't play that. And right when I was thinking that, I heard a knock at the door. We're calling the police. So in this moment, you just said you calling the popo. My mind is no longer on this commotion that's going on the floor. I no longer care what she said. It's time to go. So I told my best friend, I'm like, yo, they just said they're calling the police. So now we all scatter like roaches when you turn on the light, right? So everybody running. And now me and my best friend, because me and her came together initially, we leaving together. We been with each other since 8th grade. We not leaving each other. And if I left her, her mama gonna kill me, and I ain't got time for that. So now we're all running. So now I think at this moment, this is when we had split up the first time, because we split up 2 times. So me and best friend, we all run outside. No. We didn't split up yet. There was a moment, y'all, that we were hiding in the bushes from the cops, y'all. And legit, the cops had their flashlights on us. We were hiding in the bushes.
Ah, the ghetto! The ghetto.
And so then me and best friend, me and her, we run down this little small hill. We came upon these 2 dudes. These 2 dudes, they were sitting on top of, it was like a garage thing. They were sitting on top of the garage thing, and they basically was asking us like, yo, what happened? Why y'all running? They was high as hell, but they was like, why y'all running? And we told them basically what happened. Meanwhile, we're telling them this story. We're not realizing that we're necessarily running from the cops. So then it kind of cued us like, so we're over here. So we decided to run across the street because there was a gas station, not a gas station, there was a grocery store across the street. So we go across the street, we go into the grocery store. Now this is when everybody meets back up, right? So now y'all, we're at the grocery store and everybody is back together. Because like I said, we split up 2 times. So now me, best friend, we're together. Ornament, main chick, and sister girl all come to the grocery store. So now we're all at the grocery store and everybody basically trying to catch their breath, trying to figure out what we're going to do, what's the next move. Now me, because I knew what time the bus system came, and like I said, me and best friend, we've been friends since 8th grade. This middle school, this is, color purple, I was thinking, well, me and you can go and hop on a bus and we can leave everybody else. Listen, y'all gonna have to figure it out. But me and her, we together to the end. I care about her more than I just met y'all. I know her for a while, so I'm not leaving her. And I know that's wrong, but what you gonna do, right? So we all decide, okay, we're gonna try to get back to where we came from. So now we all leave the grocery store and we're walking together. For whatever reason, everybody hop on Facebook. And on Facebook, side chick's sister found out that her sister got jumped. And like anybody family, they on go, they ready. But y'all, side chick's sister, if y'all ever seen Friday, was kind of like Baby D. a stud version of Baby D.
Now you fat ass ain't. Yeah. Taste it, Baby D. Yeah, that's good. Eat this.
And Baby D was looking for them. And then I said them because they fought. So my best friend get a phone call from one of our old friends, and she's like, yeah, y'all might as well come back because they have all your stuff. They have y'all wallets. They have y'all shoes. They have all of that. So at this point, y'all might as well come back. There's really no reason for y'all to leave. Now, y'all might be asking, Michael, how they got the stuff? Because you had it. I dropped it. Once they said the cops was coming, I dropped everything. My mind was no longer on holding their stuff. I dropped it. So I told them again, they looking for y'all. Y'all fought her. I didn't do nothing. So they're like, all right, Michael, well, what you gonna do is you'll take Sister Girl. Now, mind you, this is why I'm calling her Sister Girl, because Sister Girl was actually younger. But she looked like she was our age, but she actually was younger. She was an adolescent, and I did not know that this young girl was as young as she was, right? So me and Sister Girl separate from the group. So now me and Sister Girl, we crossed the street and we went behind this like walkway path, which is like covered by trees. And we're going down this path, basically trying to figure out what we're gonna do, how we're finna get back to St. Paul. So now at this moment, while we're walking in this like wilderness path, I'm like, we have to figure out an alibi. So I basically told her, the alibi is going to be, since I'm older than you, we're gonna say that it was past your curfew, I was sent to come and get you so you don't get in trouble. Something simple, easy to remember, right? So we both agree that that's going to be the alibi, right? If a cop pulls us up, they're gonna try to figure out what's going on, and we'll tell them, I'm your older brother, Mama sent me to come and get you. So now we come across these apartments, and I'm like, okay, cool, let's go into the lobby. We're gonna chill into the lobby, and we're gonna call a cab. This was before Uber and Lyft had got very popular. So when we get to the apartment, I'm kind of looking around the apartment just to see if I can find an address on it, right? Because if you go into some apartments, in their lobby, they'll have their address. So I find the sheet that had an address on it, y'all. So I look at the sheet and I type in address. This was, it was an app called iHail, and this when they brought regular taxis to you, because like I said, this was way before Uber and Lyft was like extremely popular. So I enter in the address and it's like, okay, cab gonna be about 10 minutes. So we're just sitting in here in the lobby talking, trying to figure out what happened, reminiscing on what happened, talking basically about the situation. So as we're sitting in there, there's this red car that comes into the apartment complex. It drives around the complex and leaves. So I look and I'm like, okay, maybe they don't live here, right? But the car comes back again. It comes into the parking lot, it parks for a little bit, then it leaves. Then it does this a third time.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Nah, something about that was suspicious. So the cab person ends up calling me and basically telling me that I entered in the wrong address. So I'm like, damn, right? We don't have time to be entering the wrong address. The cops are currently looking for us. So I find the right address finally. I enter in the address and the cab is like, okay, I'm on my way. I keep saying cop because the cops is coming, right? So we're sitting there and finally, victory, y'all. The angels are singing. The gates of heaven is opening up. The cab pulls up, right? But as the cab pulled up, the cop pulled up shortly after it.
That is funny.
Cop walks to the cab, knocks on the window, tells him he can go on. And at this moment, I am pissed because I just spent my hard-earned money on a cab, because y'all know cabs is expensive, and I'm not getting away. So I'm like, damn. The cop comes in and he's like, so guys, what are we doing? And I got my alibi ready, y'all. I'm ready for it. I'm not a criminal, but I know when you are a criminal, you gotta have your alibi ready. I saw the first 48, so I'm like, my mama told me to come and get her because it got past curfew. And so then he asks her, right, hey, what happened? And I'm looking at her like, girl, you better get this alibi ready, right? I'm like, you better stick to it. Long story short, she didn't stick to it. And I understand because, you know, she was young at the time. And of course she was afraid. I mean, I was afraid too, but I wasn't that afraid of the fact that I was going to lie about this alibi and not go to jail. So, but she was afraid. So she ended up basically slipping up. And on top of that, it looked like she got into a fight. So the cop was like, I mean, you look like you got into a fight. So basically you might as well just confess, right? You under arrest. I've never thought of that moment, I was like, what, 20 years old? I never thought of my 20 years of life, y'all, that moment that I'll be getting my Miranda rights read to me. So now he's telling me, you know, you have the option to remain silent and all that bull, right? So then, you know, when you get arrested, they check you for stuff. This man checks me and he pulls out my phone. At this moment, y'all, I had a Beyonce phone case. It was a personalized Beyonce phone case. I had a whole bunch of different pictures on the back of the phone case, right? And the cop looks at me like, is this your phone? Now at the moment, cops don't normally ask that. And I thought it was weird, but turns out homegirl phone got stolen all in this process. So yes, side chick phone got stolen. But it wasn't by us, y'all. Cause what I forgot to add in there was a random guy that was on the bus with us. And when we told him what was going to happen, he decided to come in there with us. So yes, y'all, we met a random dude on the bus, told him that we was about to go fight, and he wanted to come along and see. Very ratchet, right? And we believe that he had the phone because none of us had the phone. We think in the process, he took the phone. So I was like, yeah, that's my phone. And he was like, are you sure? And I'm like, do you want me to show you? Like, what I gotta lie for about this not being my phone? So he basically calls back up for the girl because y'all know male cops cannot search females. So he calls the female cop, puts me in the back of the car. She's on the curb of the building just sitting there, basically arrested. The female cop is talking in the back of the cop car just like, bruh, I'm really in the back of a cop car. I'm an innocent person. Nobody would think of, y'all, I wouldn't hurt a fly, right? I'm like, what the hell? I'm really in the back of a damn cop car.
The story. I'm innocent, and Mama, I love you. P.O.P. All the time. Right, these all good pimp squad, baby.
So now we get to the station. I walk in, and I see on the opposite side of the building, because they have the males and the females separated, I see on the opposite side of the building. I look over, I see Ornament, best friend, and main chick. And they're all, Michael. And I'm like, I'm not talking to you heifers, because if I wasn't with you, if I was just at home playing Sims, I would not be arrested right now. You heifers got me arrested, so right now I'm not talking to nobody. I'm mad, I'm irritated, I want to go home. So I'm just sitting there mad. I'm not talking to them, I'm not paying them no mind. And I'm in booking. Y'all, booking takes forever. I believe it took at least up to 2 hours before they even called you back to do your mugshot. So I'm sitting there, they finally called me to do my mugshot. I do my mugshot, very ghetto, and I go back and sit down, and the cop is like, you know, you get one free phone call. Y'all, the one free phone call thing it's real. So he's like, you get one free phone call. And in my mind, I was like, I can call my mom. But the other side of me was like, I'm not gonna call my mom. Like, my mom is, no, I'm not gonna call my mom. So I just sit there once again. The heifers over there still trying to get my attention, and I'm just not paying them no mind. So another hour goes by, y'all. Another hour goes by. And they finally call you back to do the search. And y'all, this is the most degrading part I ever feel. And this is why I would tell people to never get arrested, because when you have to sit there and squat and cough and do all that, it feels very, very degrading. Then they put you into the orange jumpsuit and they send you on to the jail. And at this moment, I'm in my jail cell. I'm in an orange jumpsuit, and I'm just like, how did I get here? Like, how did I get here? But my jail cell mate was he was used to this. This was like life for him. This was like going to kindergarten to him, you know? He was normal. He was used to this. So he basically was telling me like, oh, since you got arrested this day, you'll get out this day. If the cop, not the cop, but since you came in this day, the judge will see you this day. If he calls you on the day, you'll get out this, you'll be released. This man knew the whole court system, what happens when you get arrested, because he was a regular. And at this moment, he was in for domestic abuse. He was used to this lifestyle, y'all. And so I'm just like, Lord, what did I get myself into? So I believe a little bit more, a few hours passed and I served breakfast. Jail food is horrible. Y'all, I literally survived off of bread and juice for the whole weekend because I went in on Friday. And if you go to jail in on a Friday or a holiday, you're in there until the judge come back, which is most likely not into the next business day. So now I'm pissed, right? Because I'm in here this whole weekend. My mom is calling my phone and blowing it up because I ain't talked to her this whole weekend. And, you know, she just calling to check up on me because at this time I was 20 years old. But at this time she's calling to check up on me and I'm not answering the phone. The phone that she was paying the bill for at this time. And I wasn't answering it. That's a problem. When I get out, how I'm going to tell my mom I got arrested because she's not going to believe this, right? Out of all my siblings, I would be the last one she would think that went to jail. So she's not going to believe this. So I'm like, damn. And then I'm trying to figure out, okay, when am I going to get released? Because I hate it here. Like, number one, the food is horrible. I didn't even eat the food. My jail mate ate most of my food. Like I told y'all, I survived off of bread and juice for the whole time while I was in there. So finally, I believe I got released Monday morning. Monday morning comes and they release me. And I get out, but mind y'all, when you get released from jail, it's not like you just get released and go on your merry own way. No, you have a whole process and it takes about an hour for that process. So not only does booking takes an hour, leaving takes an hour, or it can take longer. So I'm getting released and a cop basically tells me like, hey, you got court this date, woo-doo-woo. And I look at the charge they gave me, y'all. They charged me. I don't know how this clip had got cut out, but they ended up charging me with burglary. So once we found out when Main Chick, Ornament, and Best Friend were getting released. Okay, y'all, woo, forgive me. What I forgot to put in here is me and Main Chick's cousin met up after I had got released, and we ended up calling to figure out one day we're going to get released. Me and Main Chick's cousin had went up to her mom's job because they lived downtown, and her mom didn't live too far from their apartment. So we went to Main Chick's mom's job, and when she got off, she asked me what happened. I was telling her what happened. And then we went to go pick up their brother from his football practice, right? So in the time, I told y'all, I missed all my mom's calls. And I'm getting text messages, all that from her while I was locked up. This whole time, she still does not know. So we're in the car, and I remember my phone started ringing, and I look at the phone, and it's a number I don't know. So I answer the number, and of course, it's my mom on the other end. And she's going off, you've been denying my calls, you got me blocked or something, why aren't you answering my calls? Whole time, she doesn't know I was in jail. So I was like, no. And she's like, well, why aren't you answering my calls? So at this moment, I got to tell the lady I was in jail, and I was like, I went to jail. Now, at first, she's not believing me at all, until I explained to her what happened. And she was just like, come home. She didn't say nothing. She was just so mad at this point. She was just like, come home, right? So I ended up going home. Mind y'all, actually, on my way home, I actually ran into Main Chick's boyfriend on my way home. And he basically was looking for her, like, where is she? Is she still in jail? Have you heard from her? And I was like, yeah, like, she's still up in there. And I'm like, you're worried about her, but you was cheating on her? Like, make it make sense, right? Also, I ended up telling Main Chick's boyfriend that her cousin was up at the mall with her boyfriend, so he got off the bus and went to talk to her. So I get home, and y'all, I took the longest shower of my life, I felt. And then I ate 2 chicken sandwiches and fries because I was starving. my job, survived off of bread and water this whole time. So my mom come home, and I basically kind of explained to her what happened, and she was just like, basically, you stupid. Like, you're stupid. And she went in her room. She wasn't even that mad at me. She was mad at me, but I didn't get cursed out like I thought I was gonna get cursed out, right? But let me tell y'all how your own mama will do you. A few days passed, and I go and check the mail. Now I got a citation, right? And I'm like, what is a citation? What the hell is a citation? Mind, I've never been in trouble with the law, so I'm like, the hell is a citation, right? So I go in the house, and I'm like, Mom, what is a citation? And she's like, oh, it's a ticket. My grandma's on the other side of the phone, so she's like, who got a ticket? And my mom was just looking at me, y'all, just like, oh, Mom, I didn't even tell you. Your grandson went to jail. So now for the 100th time, I had to sit here and basically explain to people why I went to jail. All right, so y'all gonna have to forgive me because there was a whole clip edited out. Basically, I went to go visit my grandmother for Christmas, and when it was me, her, and my uncle in the car, she basically ended up telling my uncle that I had got arrested, so I had to basically tell him the whole story. And it sounds so stupid because I didn't do nothing. Like the whole time, I'm just standing there, right? So then maybe I ended up going to court. No, I went to court back in October. This was before Christmas. So I went to court back in October, and like I basically told y'all, I got charged with trespassing. I got arrested. I had initially got charged with burglary, but I ended up being a trespassing charge. When I went to court, honestly, y'all, I was afraid because I'm thinking like I'm finna go up here in front of Judge Judy, Judge Mathis type of person. And I'm finna get cursed out by the judge, but I didn't. I basically just had to talk to, I think it was a public defender, and she just had my name and she told you, oh, you got charged with trespassing. It's nothing major than more major than a traffic violation, so it shouldn't stop you from getting a job or getting an apartment or anything like that. She was just like, just make sure you make more smarter decisions. And then I y'all learn anything from this story time, do not just roll with people just to roll with them, because you never know. That situation really could have went left. Don't do what I did, y'all. Be smarter. Be smart.